Sac Center Coliseum?
Yeah, our dressing room was a fucking bar up there. Me and the Baron got so drunk up there, man. I'm glad I had a driver that night. Our dressing room was a full bar there at Sac Center.
Oh, yes, yes. I mean,
work for JD Craft,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Well, why don't we get started with some questions? Let me grab my notes here, Jaron.
Okay. I can hear you a little bit, bro. I got to put my ear next to the phone.
All righty.
This is a weird angle, but the only thing I can do. Yeah.
Weird angle.
All right.
Okay. So.
And I'm live now, so we're good to go.
All right, my man.
All right. So, Charlie, you debuted in 1989. 1989 is when you debuted. And
you know, I played 3 weeks of camp before my first match. I did not have a flipping clue out there. And I worked with this kid, Matt Derringer. Yeah, I love him forever. He took so good care of me. And we drew a big crowd at the Indian Center. I don't know, it was like 700 people. And the PWA, before I came along, I'm not bragging. Before I came along, they were drawing 20, 30 people, you know, and whatever. And I came on the scene. Me and JW Storm were selling tickets like hotcakes, man. I mean, I was bouncing at bars, 3 different bars. I was selling tickets. I made $400 my first match, and that's crazy, you know. You don't make that. And I didn't pay for camp. They let me go to camp. I trained weeks before I had my first match. I didn't have a clue, man. I was scared to death.
Wow, $400 though. That's really good.
Yeah, you know, I was not working full time. I was always just on the run. You know, I had my own place. You know, I was working. I was all in our family. You're not allowed to lay around. You got to go to work. You're going to go to college. You got to do something. I did it all. I went to college for a year. Did college basketball. My back was halfway fried when I started wrestling. My knees were halfway gone because I could dunk it like Shaq. You know, I was 6'6" and I was dunking. I went to college down in Kansas. I tell you what, man, the college days were the greatest times of my life until I got into wrestling. The party started when I graduated high school and didn't stop till 2009. I quit partying because, man, I was good at it. You know, I partied and I found diabetes and I quit drinking. It was easy for me, you know. And but yeah, I was an everyday drinker. I would drink every day and calm me down. Me and Kenny Ventura would drink before matches because I was always this tag team partner. I'm like, God, Kenny, he needed to drink. I mean, he was better at it when he drank. He told me, I'd have a shot of something to calm my nerves. You know, every match I was a little nervous. I was never scared of the crowd. I was scared of messing up in there, you know, and hurting somebody. I never hurt nobody. There was a kid in Mississippi I wrestled for Deep Mid-South Wrestling. I kicked him with my scissor kick, and I knocked his back tooth out. And he said, that's okay. But I gave him brother, I'm sorry. That's the only time I ever hurt anybody. He didn't complain. He's a big old black boy from Mississippi down there. Good, you know, he's a jobber or whatever, enhancement guy. Good guy. I don't think it's ever shown anywhere. We did a bunch of tapings. I wrestled Terry Gordy on one of them. I don't know, but I don't know what happened to the taping. I don't know where they're at. They're somewhere. It's good matches, actually. That's the only time I hurt somebody, though. I got hurt my theater. He fractured my jaw and my neck and knocked a bunch of teeth loose in my back of my, way back, my molars or whatever the hell. He knocked me out. And he was a sorry guy. He hurt a couple. He paralyzed a couple kids just because he was in a bad mood. And I got back from the curtains that night. It was in New Orleans, I think, or New Orleans or Pensacola. Maybe Pensacola. It was a pay-per-view. It was my last pay-per-view. And Eric Bischoff took over. I was getting pushed by Dusty and Oldie when I was there. When Bischoff took over, I started jobbing out like in 3 minutes to the Nasty Boys. And I should have told him about my fractured neck that night when Vader did that to me. But I came through the curtains. Paul Orndorff met me there. And I was still dazed. I don't know. Big Stevie Ray saved my ass that night. He knocked Vader down with an uppercut. I said, let's just fucking shoot, man. Let's just go for it. I said, this is a pay-per-view. It's live. I said, he's making a fool out of us. Stevie said, let's do it. You know, it would have made history if we beat him up, you know. We should have did it, but we did it. Anyways, I come back to the curtains, and there's Paul Orndorff there, good friend of mine, great guy. I loved him to death. I hope you guys didn't watch those videos of him, his last videos, because I cried. I cried when I see him like that powerful, strong man.
I actually seen the video of when Paul Orndorff, I think it was, he had like a couple of days left before he passed away. His son had that posted.
I cried, man. He was, oh God. Me and him were good friends. We traveled a lot. Anyways, I came to the curtain and then he grabbed me. He said,
right.
I went around the corner. He said, don't let this don't let this ruin your career. Don't think about it. I'm going to get him back. Someday I'm going to get him back. And the day he picked him up in the dressing room down in the States in Atlanta, I was like, gone by then. I'll still get paid. They're still paid. I came home. I was like, I don't fire me. I don't give a fuck. You don't like me. You don't like, whatever. I don't care. Fire me. I'll go to Japan. Anyway, the sheriff told me to get it back. So that day at Center Stage when he did that, Hegstrand called me. Roadwear Hawk called me on my phone at home. He said, Charlie, Orndorff just knocked on Dion White twice. And it was pretty cool. Oh my God. I celebrated and celebrated. I celebrated for like 8 years. He knocked him out cold. Vader was a bully. He was a bastard. Nobody liked him. Ric Flair didn't want to work with him. Hulk Hogan didn't want to work with him. Come on, Leon, if this is real, go to MMA. You're hurting people. And he hurt me so bad, and it was embarrassing for me. I thought the whole world, it was live. Knocked me out. He had my whole chest, and he knocked me out cold. And the night before that, we were at the strip bar across the street there. He must have given this chick thousands of dollars, and he wasn't going to get her.
Yeah.
So me and Davey Boy Smith are walking out, and Vader was behind us. We laid in the strip bar and going to eat somewhere or something. I was with Davey Boy, and this girl comes up, and she writes her autograph on my chest. I had a muscle shirt on. I was really tan in shape that day. Right in front of Leon. I'm like, oh, great. I hope I don't have to work with him. Right the next night, I got to the pay-per-view. Me and Stevie Ray against Vader and Cactus Jack. I said, that motherfucker's going to do something. I'm sorry to swear. And he did. I think that's why he spent like $4,000 on that girl. And she come up and I didn't call her. She wrote her phone number. I'm like, yeah, a marker. And I was like, oh, hell. Davey Boy said, uh-oh. Wasn't my fault, man. But anyway,
All right, Jaron, you have any questions for Charlie?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, where was my list again?
Man, you guys are going back to my TWA days, early days, man. So listen up.
Oh, we got a whole bunch of material for you. I did my homework on you.
Right on. I'll see if I can remember.
All right. So I got a question for you, Charlie. So how was the idea brought up about you winning the PWA World Heavyweight Championship on October 4th, 1989?
Who did I beat?
Shoot, I forgot who we beat.
Tijo Khan at Davidson. I got a picture of that where all the kids, hundreds and hundreds of kids stormed the ring. Tijo put me over that night, and Eddie said, you want to be the champion? I'm like, no, I don't want to be no champion. I beat my first match, second match, I'm good. He said, that's what Billy Redcloth said. And I was serious. I don't want to be the main event, But anyways, Tijo put me over so strong, and I got mobbed in the ring, and I was so blowed up, I couldn't catch my breath, and all of these kids were mobbing me. I got a really cool picture of that. I'll send it to you guys, man. I still got the picture. I'm holding up. You can barely see me holding up the belt. Tijo Khan. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, that was I felt so good because those kids, in the Indian neighborhood there, I'd go door to door and pass out tickets. And Medusa Michelli, she was a great self-promoter, and she told me a lot of things I could do. And I was like, I'm going to go door to door and give out tickets to all these kids, in this community, because there's gangs, there's, things, and today it's even worse with the drugs. But anyways, I'd go door to door and give out all these free tickets to all these Indian kids. And we were charging people $1 at the door because we'd go and sell advertising for our program. That's how we made our money. We didn't make that much money there, but if I wanted to, I could have made a lot of money, but I didn't. I gave free tickets out, and we got mobbed. I got mobbed, and I got a cool picture of that, man. I'll send it to you guys. It's fucking cool. It gives me chills that night of the people exploded. I'm like, wow. And I'm not a star, I'm just me. I never pretended to be a star. I don't want to be put on a pedestal. But I was very well liked, loved, and they still remember me. These kids today are like grandparents. And they tell, oh, this is Charley Norris. We used to watch him wrestle. He's always sending me pictures from Louisiana and Texas and Florida. I don't remember taking those pictures, I mean, I wrestled a lot. I was thinking about this. God damn, I wrestled all over the place, I was only on TV for a few years with WCW and then the AWF, the American Warriors of Wrestling, whatever. I did a lot of matches there. Sergeant Slaughter and Tito Santana were in charge there. So I don't know if you've ever seen any of those. I teamed up with Chris Adams, Tom Zink. I wrestled Hercules Hernandez. He broke my shoulder, I really had a lot of fun. I made money. I made a lot of money in Japan, selling my Indian jewelry, necklaces, shirts, and bandanas. This one guy come up in Japan one night. I had my cool bandana. He said, let me buy a headband. I was like, yeah, sure, here. He gave me $1,000 for it. And this guy owned 2 skyscrapers in Japan. He was an old man. He looked like a drunk wino on the street. This guy had a big bodyguard with him. Big bastard. And I was always fucking with him. He wouldn't even acknowledge me. He just stared straight ahead all the time. Scary looking dude, man. He should have been in a James Bond movie or something. And his hands were so thick, not for the poke. I was like, I can kick your ass. He never, But anyways, I had a good sponsor. And I got to go to Japan. He'd fly me in business class. And I had to go hang out with him every night. And that was hard. We were there 37 days, 42 days one time, 37 days working. And he was a great sponsor, this guy. I know he's not alive today because he had to be 80 back then, but he was a billionaire. I was so glad to meet him because being a native in another land, people wanted to meet me and talk to me, take my picture. And oh my God, in Papua New Guinea, we went up there in North Australia. The indigenous people, I was like the Beatles. I had to have police escorts wherever I went. They wanted to slap me because they think that I was they get more for, there's 20,000 people in a soccer stadium. They all want to slap you. Kind of scary. There was a riot. So the police had to surround the ring with their dogs and shooting the shotguns in the air. I'm like, you know what? I never want to be famous. I never want to be like this ever. It's fucking scary. Yeah. So I made a lot of money over there, but it was scary for me because I couldn't go anywhere. Like I had police outside my door at my hotel. There's thousands of people outside the building wanting to slap me. I'm like, no, man, that hurts up there like 1,000 slaps,
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot of stories, I can probably write a book about just all my experiences, Got to hang out with the Road Warriors, Kurt Hennig, Nails. Rick Rude was a good friend of mine. Jimmy Snuka, the thing about wrestling is Bret Hart, the thing about wrestlers is we're very self-destructive, and you got to be kind of mentally ill a little bit to be like that because you get caught up in it. I wrestled Chris Benoit 34 times. If they would have shown those matches, I would have been an international superstar. That's how fucking good he was. He was good. And you know what? You watch his matches with Dynamite Kid in Japan and Tiger Mask. His head was gone. He was suicidal in the ring, man. He talked one time we're in Florida. He said, belly to belly off the top rope. I said, I've never done this. Just fucking do it. So I belly to belly him off the top rope, and I watched him fly all the way across and hit the other turnbuckles. I threw him pretty good, but not that hard. Man, he put me over so good. Standing ovation in the dressing room from all the guys. Ric Flair, everybody gave us a standing ovation, which never happens. I didn't know what was happening. We come back, I said it was all him, you guys. It was all him. And we stole the show every night. Bobby Eaton. I was so glad to work with great wrestlers. And then Eric Bischoff took over, and I was doing jobs. So, I got someone trying to my call. Anyways, yeah, I had a good time. I wanted to have a good time on it, and it was a good thing with the guys. I want to see Tito here coming up somewhere. I'm going to St. Croix Casino. Jimmy Hart, Bushwhacker, Luke, Greg Valentine, who was my last match. There's a whole bunch of guys. Tugboat, all these guys are coming tomorrow night. So I'm going to go sign autographs from 4 to 7 and sell my pictures, and they're giving me a few $100s, and I get to keep my money. And it's only an hour and a half drive, Might as well.
Yeah. What town do you currently live in right now?
What's that?
What town do you currently live in right now?
Minneapolis. Probably one of the most
dangerous you're in Minneapolis.
Entire planet Earth.
Yeah.
It's right by the project. It's a brand new building, and I wanted to be closer to my daughter. But, she was a little away from me, and she's kind of struggling right now, with the drugs and everything. The day she was born, I put $35,000 in an account for her when she's 20 years old. You don't do that to kids today. You don't give them $35,000. That was 5 years ago. It started this, whatever she's doing. And I just kind of pray and hang in there, man, But yeah, so many people here on drugs, this fentanyl and meth in South Minneapolis. And I'm like a youth minister. I'm really a good counselor.
Oh, okay.
And so sad. It's so sad, man. But you know what? There's always the bright side of things. I can't dwell on the bad. I pray a lot, and I've never had a problem with hardcore drugs like heroin and meth and all that fentanyl. I never did that. I take pain medication. I take it from a pain doctor, and my pain is under control. I just got out of the hospital last week, and I was in there 12 days, and I had surgery January 3rd. I was in there for 4 days, so I was in the hospital half of January. I was really sick. I got cellulitis in my left leg. I got it squashed. I was helping my friends move. They squashed my leg, and it started swelling up and getting red, and it got infected, and I went to the hospital, and oh my God, brother, I suffered so bad. They were giving me Dilaudid shots, Dilaudid pills, nothing was working. And there was a certain nurse there named Nicole, and I owed her. I wouldn't eat. I lost 7 pounds. I'm 222 pounds right now. I weighed this when I was in 5th grade. But the nurses took good care of me, and they didn't want me to leave, and I actually didn't want to leave. I didn't stay. They treated me wonderful at Fairview Riverside Hospital. But yeah, I got a lot of thinking. I'm like, gosh, I've been around. I wrestled St. Louis to Samoan like 15 times. Got Valentine about 30 times. Bob Orton Jr., who was so great. God, he was great. Oh my gosh, man, I can't tell you how good he was. I wrestled a lot of great wrestlers. Sergeant Slaughter teamed up with him. I could write a book about everything. It just wasn't my WCW days. But I had PWA too, hundreds of matches. I was pretty well known around here. I was kind of like a celebrity in Minneapolis. Well, I never thought I was. But
I think people see you as a big star now, and a lot of people. I told people on Facebook that we were doing a podcast with you, and they're like, "Oh my God, the great Charley Norris." So I still think you're a pretty big deal now. So yeah.
That's great. Then hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You always got floozy bluesy, next to you all where you go. And I searched out for the kids in the wheelchairs and the girl in the back that nobody paid attention to. That's who I seeked out. If I could make their day, brighten up their eyes. In Alabama, I met this kid in a wheelchair. He was so sick. And his mom said he wanted to bring you a present. You're his favorite wrestler. He gave me a turquoise ring. I still got it. I'm like, oh my goodness, little brother. And I know he wasn't going to live much longer. I hope he did, but I know it. He was very frail. He wanted to come see me, just me. And it was in Alabama somewhere, Addison, Alabama, or I don't know somewhere. And them are the kind of people that I seeked out, and not the people, the floozy bluesies, if you know what I mean. They were always there. So I had a gift of giving and making people's day. And that's what it's all about for me. That's worth millions of dollars to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I'm getting new teeth, $6,000.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Then
That's kind of expensive for teeth. Those are kind of expensive, aren't they, Charlie?
Yeah, they are, man. They are. You know, I got in a really bad car accident in 2012, July 10th. I got blindsided by a drunk driver, T-boned on my side of the car. We spun around like 3 times. It was like slow motion, like the house on Woods and Vaz. It was like that house. It was like slow motion spinning, and all of a sudden, boom, we hit. And my partner, he almost died from that. He was in the car with me, and this girl was drunk on her ass. She nailed me on my side of the car. Tons of people seen this. And I kicked out the windshield. I got my buddy out of there. I carried him to the tree line, and I put him down, and I ran after that car with a broken neck, the most severe concussion in the history of planet Earth. And these people in Red Lake, they already think I'm a big celebrity tough guy, which I'm not. I'm not, I'm pretty tough, but I'm not a bully. Anyways, they see me do that. They see me get hit on the side, and I ran after that car with a broken neck. I was in shock. The ambulance people came. They tried to put me in a back brace, and I said, get away from me. Get away. I don't want to go to the hospital. I had a fractured neck, and I was chasing after this car, and I had concussion. I don't remember the rest of that day. Me and my mom were out to eat in Bemidji. My mom and dad went to Perkins. I was, oh my God! I said, here comes the pain. And I was going to the bathroom, and there was a nurse there from this other hospital in Cass Lake. She said, "Are you okay?" She knew I was. I didn't know her. She said, "Are you okay?" I'm like, where am I at? Where's my parents? And she took me to the table. She said, "Bring him to the hospital. Now he's got a concussion." So they took me down, and they found out. I don't even remember driving home that day. I don't know how I did it. But Dad really messed up my teeth, knocked a whole bunch of my teeth loose on this side. I never went to the dentist because I'm scared of the dentist. I'm not scared of nothing. I'm scared of the dentist. So now I went this morning. I did 16 X-rays. My partner Sam Houston is going to pay for it. He's in Monroe, North Carolina. He's doing really well. After he was on Dark Side of the Ring, did you watch that episode?
Who was he again?
With Sam Houston and Jake the Snake's his brother. We were the Renegades.
Sam Houston, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know about all this. I lived with Grizzly Smith in Texas for 2 years. Sam told me a lot of stuff about this horrible childhood, and I'd like, oh God, Jake. I hung out with Jake a lot. He told me, it's like, this is not even a movie, man. This is like, it's too sad, And Jake doesn't hide his addictions and all that. He's a good friend of mine. Jake's one of the boys, man. He was good to me, and I love Jake. People can say whatever they want, but I know he was good to me. He treated me like a brother. We hung out a lot. He showed me a check from SummerSlam one time, $27,000. He was in the ring for not even a minute.
Yes.
Wow, man, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and he spent it like in 8 days. He was pouring for me 8 days later.
8 days, $27,000, huh?
How much money did you get out of that, Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
Did Jake give you any?
I'm sorry, if you what?
Did Jake give you any of the money?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then he remembered that when he was broke. Not even money. $133,000 they owed me. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to go for $1 million because I didn't deserve $1 million. I wanted my money that was promised to me. Me and Stone Cold got fired on the same day. He got his $158,000 check. When you get fired, you get direct your pay. That's the way it is. I went up to get my pay, and Eric Bischoff says, we're not honoring Ole's contract. I said, it's not Ole's contract. It's Ted Turner that signs my checks. Now, do you want a Native American to go to Ted Turner, who loves Native Americans, to show that you're being discriminative toward me? I got fired, I don't know, a week later. I got 7 o'clock in the morning. They called me up. Here's how dirty they were. Okay, they called me up. I wanted, and I was still hurt from the Vader. My neck still hurt from that. At night it screams out. But anyways, they called me the day before. The office called me. The secretaries called me. Are you willing to work at a TV taping? And I wasn't ready to go back to work. And I said, yeah, I can work. The next morning at 7 o'clock, FedEx from Eric Bischoff. I got it on my wall. You're fired. You're fired. I'm like, that's okay. That's all right. I wanted to get fired. You know, I wanted to get fired. And I still got paid for like 6 months or something. They still gave me, and they said, you can't wrestle for anybody else when you're doing it anymore. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do what I'm going to do soon. So we did their depositions. And I hate to do that to Dusty and Ole here. My lawyer destroyed them all. Larry Leventhal was my lawyer. He just destroyed it. And if we would have brought to St. Paul here in Minnesota, I would have probably got a couple of million. Jesse told me, go for the money, Charlie, because you're going to be blackballed. And I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, you know, the press is already at my freaking house. They're asking me all these questions and they're twisting it like they do. I never said that, you know, but they're there, you know, knocking on my door at my house, man. I'm like, what do you want? You know? No big deal, and I guess it was. Bill Clinton was in town the same day. We had a news conference about this. Wow. We made up story over Bill Clinton that day, and I said, we're going to win. I just want my money, man. No. They had to honor it, and Bischoff didn't like me. I was in a whirlpool down there. I worked at Steve Regal at a TV taping that day at Disney World, Orlando. Great match. I could have been more aggressive there. He's a good guy, Steve. Anyway, sitting in Whirlpool with Dory Funk Jr. and his wife, Marty. And, yeah, we were sitting in Whirlpool. I wanted to go to Japan. I wanted to go to all of Japan and work that style with Stan Hansen, Terry Gordy, Bruce, whatever. I like that style. I like that. I was tall. I was good. And Dory was very interested in me. Greg Gagne heard me talking about it. He started hollering at me. What are you trying to know? I'm like, you know, this is not your fucking business. So Eric Bischoff comes to my room later and I want to talk to you. I said, yeah, I'll be there. I didn't go. I met a girl. Me and Michael Hayes went out. I met a girl. I didn't go. After that, he would not talk to me. TV taping. He would talk to me and acknowledge me. I said, you know, I felt it. I knew it. I was jobbing out with the Nasty Boys in 3 minutes, and they took care of me. They gave me Eric Bischoff. Eric Watts was my partner. Who was the drizzling shits. I mean, I teamed up with him about 30, 40, I don't know, a bunch of times in Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, all over. People booed him, and they were hollering for me. When I came in, the people went crazy. He thought I was doing that to him, and he wanted to fight. You know, I'm like, well, bring it on, man. That's not me down the fence with you because you're that bad. You're watching Eric Watts.
Eric Watts.
Watch him.
Did you ever watch Derek Watts? Is what he's asking, Jesse.
Eric Watts. Yeah, I remember when he was in WCW. I really wasn't a big fan of his work. I thought he was kind of a sloppy kind of a guy.
He got a big contract because his dad was in charge. None of the was really. He was a cocky bastard, and you know I wasn't scared of him at all. I seen him in West Virginia, repping the mouse at his bar, and he's acting cocky there, and all these rednecks from that area were surrounding him. I was like, I got a knife here. Let me take care of this. I'll talk to these guys. I'm ready. I gave him one of my knives. I always carry a knife. I love knives. I didn't want to kill anybody, but these guys are going to kill him. He's acting too cocky in there, man. You don't go into another town.
Right.
You know, girls, what are you nuts? And you always remember that I saved his ass that night. We got out of there through the back door. We would have got a big, huge fight there. Which is you don't do it. You get in a fight, you got to win. Or, you got to win the fight. No matter what. You're gonna. Our hands are deadly weapons in court. Who are they going to believe? You know, they go to court. We're going to lose. So, but I saved his ass. But he hit a big contract, and he was the shits. He was horrible. I come in and hollering, and in Indiana. We wrestled at Bloomington there at Indiana University. Thousands of people. Great night. It was a big party. I think I met a girl that night too. Whatever. But yeah, you know, it's not my fault here. You know, Arn Anderson told him too. He said he was just doing his job out there. He said the fans like him. They paid their money for the ticket. He said, "Why are you mad?" And Eric didn't say nothing, but Arn got on his ass. He, you know, told him that you can't. What the hell, man? It don't matter. Boo me, whatever. Work the crowd. Take me in, man. The people. I mean, I kind of liked it. You know, I was over in Atlanta because of that damn chop. They go, oh, right away. I wanted to work. I had a beautiful headdress. Eric Bushell said, "No, I'm not going to wear your headdress." I'm like, "What, man? Back to my headdress." As soon as the people see that headdress, I'm over. I'm over right away. And he wouldn't let me. I mean, he was just a bastard, you know. And I told him when I left him, I said, "Thank you, Eric, but you know what?" I said, "You're going to be out of business within 10 years. You're going to drive us to the ground." They gave Hulk Hogan the key to the vault. He took it all. They gave Dallas Page millions of dollars. I didn't like Dallas Page. He didn't like me. I did nothing to him for him to not like me. I'm good for him. He made a lot of money. But he was too ugly to be a baby face. You know, Greg Gagne told him that one time. You should be healed, Dallas. You're not good looking enough. And he really got mad about that, man. So, yeah, he had a lot of pull there. And me and Z-Man, I mean, good talent there. They just didn't do nothing with us, man. And, you know, that's all right. So I did get enough TV time to get a lot of shows. I made $150,000 my first year, and I got away from WCW because of my TV time ahead. I got my own casino shows, ran my own shows. Whoever wanted to wrestle, I called him. Big King Kong Bundy, I wrestled him. I wrestled Big Samu. I wrestled One Man Gang. One Man Gang, me and him fit like a glove. I was scared to death of Dallas. I went down there. We did TV down in Continental Wrestling in that area, small, you know, around Texas. And the Sportatorium, you know, the world famous Sportatorium. Yep. And I wrestled. Rod put me over on TV so good. He was never losing stuff. Rod was over. So the people liked me right away. And I had the next few TV tapings later, One Man Gang versus Charley Norris. And I never met One Man Gang. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I went to Grizzly Smith and the bookers. I said, "Are you kidding me? One Man Gang?" I was like, "Man, come on." But our first match, and he's like a big buffalo in there coming at you, like, come on. Get out of here. Yeah. But we wrestled probably 100 times in Japan, too. We wrestled each other. Our matches were excellent. One Man Gangster took such good care. I talked to him last week, by the way. He lives in Freeport, Louisiana. And, no, he lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I stayed at his house. We're great friends. But in the ring, I'm like, "Man, are we friends or what? Why do you hate me so much?" He was roughing it, man. I got 33 staples in one of my eyes. Wow. His buckle sliced me. We had a cage match. I was going to juice anyway. A cage match in Dallas there. He caught me with and sliced my eye, above my eye wide open. Bloody as hell. I was losing too much blood. And James Beard, I was telling James, "How long was that for?" I'm dying, man. And I couldn't get over the ring. I don't know how I made it to that match. I honestly don't know. They took me straight to the hospital, and I stayed overnight with 33 staples. And I lost a lot of blood. I was weak. The fans went crazy, and oh my God, they went crazy. I loved it, though. I was down there for 2 years. I was wrestling Louisiana, Alabama. I was wrestling for AWF. I was wrestling for PWA. So I was busy. I wrestled as much as I wanted. You know, after Dances of Wolves came out, I was wrestling every fucking night of everywhere. VFW, cycles, technology. You know, it was popular.
Yeah. Talk about your relationship and formation of your tag team with Derek Dukes.
Oh, Derek! Oh God, I love Derek. You know, Derek was another guy. He had the natural charisma. He was good in the ring. He had it all. A lot of guys here got left behind. Okay, you got WWF, you got WCW, you got New Japan, you got All Japan. if you don't make it to one of those, then you're a failure. You're a failure. And at the time, people were fighting to keep their jobs. And I'm like, Corey Anderson, like, we flew up here. I mean, I was nowhere. None of our shows here in Minneapolis. There's about 700-800 people at this bar. And that's the Randy Gusto. Me and Quinn were good together. He's a big shooter from North Dakota State. All-American, 330 pounds. He showed me all over the place. I mean, we were just a lot of times. Maybe, I don't know how many times. And a lot. Anyways, Oli showed up that night. He said, come over. I like you. You know, we're going to send you down to Atlanta. He wanted me to go to Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama. And I said, I'm working. I can't go. I'm working a full-time job. He said, well, how about the next week after I come to Center Stage? I said, okay. So I went down there, and Greg Dania picked me up at the airport. Me and Jacob Stark got trials. He picked me up at the airport. He fucking didn't like me from the beginning. He was driving all crazy. I don't know why I got to pick up these damn jabronis. I looked at Jeff. I'm like, you know, can we just beat him up or what? You know, I'm from Eddie Sharkey's. We don't take no shit from nobody. I don't care who you are. Cussing us out, mad. And I'm like, right out. I was like, how did I really catch you? What's your problem? I'm picking up you damn jabronis at the airport. I said, well, that's weird. Whose fault is that? You know, I stood up to him. And he never did like me. You know, we still don't. I see him at these autograph sessions. I'll fuck him. I'll kick his little fucking ass, you know. And he's one of the ones I sued, and he lost the case. He walked out of the position. And I'll tell you what, that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, to get fired by Eric Bischoff, because I never would have met the woman that had my child. So as we were shaking hands, true story. This is honest to truth, honest to God Almighty, Jesus Christ. This is honest. As we were shaking hands with the lawyers from Ted Turner's lawyers, big fancy lawyers, you know, big five lawyers, they didn't want to mess with them in India. I would have gotten a lot of money. I didn't deserve all that money. But anyways, as we were shaking hands and agreeing to the agreement, and they paid my lawyer's fees, and I got my $136,000. As we were shaking hands, my daughter was born. I got the phone call right there. You just had a baby girl. And right there, that was God's way of telling me I did the right thing. Because I was going to be as big as Hulk Hogan. You know, I was going to, you know, it was so much jealousy in the gym, him dabbing. I mean, it was horrible. And, you know, I think it would be as bad as it was. And you got to be tough. You got to stand up for yourself. In the Hawk, Road Warrior Hawk and Rick Rude, you know, Charlie, don't let him eat you up in the ring. But always liked me when I got my trout. So I signed this contract, 3-year contract. And that was cool. I'm like, I'm not making that much money. But I was making enough. You know, I had a girlfriend there. She paid the rent. And I was gone all the time anyway. So I just saved my money. I saved about $27,000 in like, I don't know how many months. And I was out of control. You get caught up in the pills, and, you know, drinking. It's hard to go back to your hotel room after a big match with all that adrenaline going. I mean, I smoked a lot of weed with Bobby Heenan. I mean, I was like, you know, that's how you come down, because you can't sleep. The adrenaline is there, the people, the screaming, the hollering, the slamming, and all that. It's hard to relax. You go out and drink, you know, and take pills. And everybody's doing it. And yeah, it's a self-destructive. All the wrestlers I know were self-destructive. Every single one of them. And it started the game, man. I'm lucky I'm alive today. And like I said, Eric Bischoff gave me the greatest gift. Hey, we had a non-disclosure agreement, and he went on this podcast, it's Ric Flair's son-in-law podcast last year or something. He talked about Charley Norris for 8 minutes. Now, we have a non-disclosure agreement. So anyway, I got a hold of some friends, and I said, you know what, I want to go on the podcast and tell my side of the story. This little bastard is on there talking, and he's not supposed to be talking about this because we signed an agreement. We're never supposed to disclose this to the public. That's how dumb he is. I could have sued him again, but I said, you know what, You know, he killed wrestling, man. He killed it. Bret Hart, everybody, he killed it. You know, Bret Hart, he was making $3 million a year. Flying from Calgary to Miami. He did have the TV tapings, and nobody would talk to him. He should have been champion there. Hogan was, he was a threat to Hogan. He was a threat to Dallas Page. And I was out with Kurt Hennig. I know you guys want to talk about PWA, but I was out with Kurt Hennig. He's going to be working a program with Dallas. I'm like, he's got a whole encyclopedia. It's going to be move for move what you're going to do. He's like, no, he's not. And then Kurt didn't go by it. He went by Kurt's script, not Dallas's script. And Kurt did a really good job, and he's a good friend of mine. It's devastating. The older you get, you lose people, and it's hard. It's hard to lose your friends. These guys, dear friends of mine, Rude and Hawk and Animal, just shook me to the bone. Animal was never into the drinking and drugs and all that. And what really killed those guys was they were on the road so much. They had to take that growth hormone. They had to take steroids. Their schedule was crazy. You almost had to take steroids. Guys would shoot steroids in their dressing room, their shoulders, and their knee, and their legs, and their back. I was shooting the nasty boys with steroids. I never took steroids, but their schedule was so hard and fast, and that's what killed Animal was the damn growth hormone, And I loved him, man. I loved Joe so much, man. I called Eddie at 7 o'clock in the morning. I said, Eddie, you need to hear this. I need to tell you. We're so close. He was close to Eddie. I said, Eddie, I got to tell you, man, I don't fucking want to do this. But Joe Laurinaitis died last night. He was out with his wife on their anniversary, and they were hugging at a restaurant. He just fell dead right there. I don't know where he was at. I think it was in St. Louis or something. I don't know. But he fell right there dead. He was hugging his wife. And Tommy Dreamer called me and told me about it. Oh, God. And, every time you hear about a guy dying, it's like, we don't have a hard, long life. I would have been dead if I got hired in WWE. I would have been dead somewhere, man. Me and Eddie were the last one to see Brian Pillman that night when he died here. We offered him a ride downtown to his hotel. He said, no, I'm waiting on a cab. I said, come on, Brian. He's a good dude. I like Brian. He died that night. It happens. Yeah. Bobby Dunn Jr. was a great friend of mine. I got great pictures. We trained him. He died. And Barry Windham talks about him a lot. But you want to talk about PWA? I'll think I can remember.
It'd be anything about PWA. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you could, pretty much anything about PWA. Best memories of PWA.
Well, I got to wrestle Larry Cameron, another guy that died too young. That should have been a huge star in the business. Derek Duke's Ricky Rice, man, his drop kick was one of the best. Yeah. And Jim Brunzell, and oh my God, their drop kicks. He nailed me so perfect on the side of the head. Kind of Ricky, for like a year, I worked with him everywhere, and he put me with him to kind of groom me along, help me out a lot. And Ricky did. He really did a hell of a job with me. And another guy, talented, had it all. But like I said, the jobs were so scarce back then. And, he should have made it. Hold on a second. I got to take my medicine tonight. I'm supposed to take it back far ago. Yeah, and another guy left behind, Ricky Rice. And there's so many guys, that, God, I wanted to start our own promotion. And Kurt Hennig, the week before he died in Florida, we're out partying one day. Me and the Hater, Wayne Bloom, and Kurt. We're driving around all west somewhere. I forget the name of that town. We're little bars, VFW. It's like Clay Colette. He said, Charlie, I got backing, financial backing. He said, we can run 8 reservations. We can have our own TV thing here. He said, I don't even want to go to Florida, man. He said, I said, why are you going? He said, I'm going to go see the Nasty Boys. Which is fun. You guys are a lot of fun. And he told me, he's got our own promotion. He's got the executives he's talking to. Big Larry was going to be part of it. Start our own TV. We got the guys here, man. You got me. I've got the Indian reservation. Let's kill it. And then, he was out partying with the Nasty Boys and that Fidel Sierra, who I didn't like. I knocked him out on TV, man. You can watch it. The terrorist, he was under a mask. The terrorist, he kicked me in the balls. He was blocking everything. I took it home early, and Oli was really mad. I got back to the dressing room. I said, let's watch the tape. He was blocking everything I was doing. So I just knocked him out. You know, that's what you're taught. Eddie Sharkey's camp. If they're not fucking doing it, knock them out. And I did. I took the shit out of him. Wow. He come back, he take the out of his neck. I said, let's watch the match before you pull your knife out. So we watched the match, and Ole said, it's your fault, Fidel. It's your fault. And Dusty said, baby, Charlie, you did the right thing, baby. He said, this is beautiful. So I was good. Dusty and loved me. But anyways, what was I talking? Oh, Fidel. Fidel Sierra was the one that found Kurt in his hotel room the next morning. Kurt had his $55,000 Rolex on him. He had like $6,000 in cash. Larry Henning told me this. And he said they never found that. And that Fidel Sierra got it, man. I know he did. Oh. And, you know, it's like, yeah, man, you know, it could come back on. But I knocked his ass out, man. You can see it. Watch me, Charley Norris versus the Bears from making George TV. I knocked him out. I had to.
Mm-hmm.
I had to know. Yeah, you know?
Yeah. Huh. Jesse, you want to go with the question?
Yep. We got time for one more question.
Okay.
Charlie, me and you talked about you were possibly going to sign with ECW at one time. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Here's the deal. Rick Rude was working and doing the TV with Paulie at ECW. He was going to make a comeback. He was going to come back to WWF. He was like 40 years old at the time. He called me. Eddie called me. And he said, Rick Rude's going to call me. Come to my house. He wants to talk to you. So I went to Eddie's house. And it was Rick on the phone. He said, Charlie, get in shape. We're going to bring you ECW. He said, you love that rough style. He said, it's fucking crazy, fun time over here in Philadelphia, wherever they were. Come over here. Jerry Lynn, another guy that should have, he was a huge star in ECW. Another guy that was past.
Yes, he was.
Great. Wrestled him a bunch. He kicked my ass, man. He's a little big guy, you know. Anyway.
Jerry Lynn is pretty good.
We're going to bring you in on fire. You're going to beat Shane Douglas for the belt. And Shane was game for it. You know, they needed it in the face. And everybody's over, but they wanted more face. I was like, oh, right. I started getting in shape, man, you know, and I was ready to rock and roll. Then Rick Rude died. That was it.
Yeah.
You know?
That was very sad.
Oh, God, yeah. So that's the wrestling business for you, man. You know, I called him Sergeant Slaughter when he was in office in WWF. I had his personal number. I said, Sarge, how about I can come in as a rich casino Indian. I want to wrestle Tatanka. And we're going to buy all the land that you white people stole. Oh, God, it would have been great. He loved it. And they were going to bring me into Corpus Christi. And for some reason, Jake called. We're leaving for Corpus that day. You know, and I had my plane ticket and everything. I was going. And he called me and he said, Vince don't want you because of the lawsuit you signed with your Bischoff. I'm like, oh, that's the rest of the business for you, man. You know? Yeah. But you know, like there's a few ups and many downs. You know, you gotta be persistent. You gotta promote yourself. I'm a great self-promoter. You know, I'm 6'6". There's no Native American 6'6". You know, that many. But yeah, you know, it was a great life, man. I think about it all the time about all the matches they had. Wow. I'm still here, man.
Yeah.
I'm 58 years old, brother. My grades are starting to come in. Look at that.
Yeah. Getting the grades. Still got your long hair though. That's pretty good.
That is actually pretty good. I'm kind of jealous myself.
You don't got no hair.
Yeah. Yeah, you got all the long rock star hair, and Jesse's over here. He's got none.
I'm rocking the Stone Cold look. But Charlie, it was wonderful to have you on the show, and we would love to have you back on again.
Yeah, man. Hey, anytime, you guys. I love being on here. I don't know who's going to see us tonight, but ladies, I'm single. I'm kind of rich.
Kind of rich. Yeah.
Well,
All right.
all right.
So what? So next, tomorrow, and for Midwest All Star Wrestling, Charley Norris is going to be there signing autographs, and you got stars like the Mountie and Jimmy Hart, and a bunch of other legends are going to be there. So if you want to get an autograph with Charley Norris, he's going to be there in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin, for Midwest All Star Wrestling.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. It was good talking to you.
All right.
Hope you have a great night.
Hey, man, I
All right.
appreciate it. You got my phone number. You got me anytime.
Have a good night, Charlie. Jaron, we're going to take about a 5-minute break before we bring on our next guy. So,
Exactly.
all right. So,
All right.
yeah.
Anytime. Later.
All right. Later.
Bye, my brother.
All right. There we go.
So is your hand